Yeah, no. No, you get to keep it. That's a citizen. Anybody else need pins? How about you left us in right on the edge.
Quiet. It appears it must be showtime. Church. It is very church-like. But we do have two spires here, so it's a good thing. So, happy Derby Week, everyone! Great to have you here, and wonderful to have you back for the post draw for the 143rd running of the Kentucky Oaks, the Longines Kentucky Oaks, $1 million purse. We like to think it's America's greatest race for 3-year-old fillies. It's certainly on the short list if it's not, but it's a great race and a great piece of tradition here that is as old as the Kentucky Derby, and again will be renewed for the 143rd time here on Friday at Churchill Downs. I'm John Asher, Vice President of Racing Communications at Churchill Downs, and gentlemen at the table, if you've been here for a few derbies, you know these guys. They were working studiously, getting ready to do their work and pulling the post here and assigning the post. Ben Huffman, our racing secretary, is immediately to my left, and Dan Bork from our racing office immediately to his left. And trainers, don't run off too fast. We're going to try and tackle a couple of you after we've completed with the draw. It is a blind draw, as is the Kentucky Derby, and eligibility for the Kentucky Oaks is along the lines of the Kentucky Oaks point system. And in this race, we have a maximum of 14 fillies allowed in the starting gate, and we have 14 and one also eligible. The also eligible will be Summer Luck at this point. If one member of the one member of that field should scratch before we head into the wagering on the advanced wagering on the Kentucky Oaks, then Summer Luck will have the opportunity to draw in. 14 total, and also eligible in Summer Luck. So, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready?
We're ready. Yep.
All right, we go to Ben Huffman and Dan Bork. We will take a small break in the middle. We'll go through 7, take a little break, and come back and finish it up here. We'll move along quickly. So, gentlemen, off you go.
As John mentioned, Summer Luck will be also eligible 15. Here we go.
Number 10.
Number 10 is Miss Sky Warrior, Paco Lopez.
Number 2.
2 is Lockdown, Jose Ortiz.
13.
13, Abel Tasman, Mike Smith.
5.
5 is Jordan's Henny, Joe Rocco.
1.
1, Ever So Clever, Luis Contreras.
14.
14 is Salty, Joel Rosario.
7.
7, Farrell, Channing Hill.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we do have 7 of the 14, and the positions that we do have at this point. Number 1, Ever So Clever, out of post 1. Post 2 is Lockdown. Post 5 is Jordan's Henny. Farrell, out of post number 7. Miss Sky Warrior, out of post number 10. And we have the 2 outside post positions filled, number 13, Abel Tasman, and number 14, Salty. So 7 of the 14 filled. Ready, ladies and gentlemen?
Number 6.
6 is Vexatious, Kent DeSormo.
11.
11 is Tecalita, Luis Saez.
12.
12, Daddy's Little Darling, Julian LePeroux.
9.
9 is Wicked Lick, Brian Hernandez.
8.
8, Sailor's Valentine, Corey Lannery.
3.
3 is Mopatism, Mario Gutierrez.
And the 4.
Number 4, Paradise Woods, Flavian Pratt.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll run them from the top again, and then we'll also go down Mike Battaglia's morning line in just a moment. But from the inside out, number 1, Ever So Clever. Number 2, Lockdown. Post position number 3, Mopatism. Paradise Woods, out of post 4. Out of 5, Jordan's Henny. Out of 6, Vexatious. Farrell will break for post number 7. Sailor's Valentine from post number 8. Out of number 9 comes Wicked Lick. Out of number 10, Miss Sky Warrior. Out of number 11, Tecalita. Daddy's Little Darling will break from post number 12. And the outside 2 post positions, Abel Tasman in number 13 and number 14, Salty. And again, you're also eligible. Number 15 will be Summer Luck. So there we have the field of 14 for Friday's 143rd running of the Kentucky Oaks. We'd like to, if we could, get a couple of the trainers up here for just a moment. And first of all, I don't know if did Richard Mandela make it in by any chance? Where are you, sir? Can we ambush you and bring you up? Thank you, Richard. We'll let him settle in for just a moment. We get Mark Cassie, too, to come up, if that would be all right. I'm going to run down the morning line odds. And Wayne Catalano, if where's Cat? We can get you to come up as well. We did, absolutely. We're building the anticipation here. So we're going to run down the morning line. If you could come on up, Cat, and get in this group here. And as far as I can read Mr. Rogers' numbers, and he is here to help me through this. Number 1, Ever So Clever, 20-1. Number 2, Lockdown, 20-1. Number 3, Mopatism will be 20-1 in the morning line. Paradise Woods, 5-2, the morning line favorite in Mike Battaglia's morning line for Paradise Woods, number 4. Jordan's Henny, number 5, is 30-1 in the morning line. Number 6, Vexatious at 20-1. Then we go to number 7, Farrell, at 5-1. Sailor's Valentine at 30-1. Wicked Lick at 30-1. Miss Sky Warrior at 9-2. The second choice at 9-2. Tecolita at 20-1. Daddy's Little Darlin at 20-1. Number 13, Abel Tasman is at 5-1. And on the outside, Salty is at 6-1 in the morning line. Summer Luck on the also eligible list is at 30-1. That's your morning line for the 143rd running of the Kentucky Oaks. So we'll open it with a couple of questions for these gentlemen, and we will open it up for you. We're going to start with Richard Mandela. Welcome back to Churchill Downs. Always great to see you here. And you're here with a Kentucky Oaks favorite that not a lot of us had heard much of about 6 weeks ago in that neighborhood, and came up with a fabulous victory in the Santa Anita Oaks. Talk a bit about your post draw and your filly and how she just got here yesterday, was on the track today. Just give us the picture.
Shipped well yesterday, came in good shape. As you said, she's come a long way fast. She's only had 3 races, and having been here before and left with my tail between my legs, I know that it's an obstacle to overcome the crowd here with an inexperienced filly, but we're going to do the best we can.
You did, as someone mentioned after she won the Santa Anita Oaks. I think someone asked you, where were you hiding this filly? And you said, well, I did nominate her to the Kentucky Derby as well. So you've had some high thoughts for her along the way.
Well, but everybody knows as little luck as I've had in the Derby. I wouldn't know which one to nominate anyway.
Let's move over to Mark Cassie. And Mark Cassie in a position to perhaps get one of those rare Oaks Derby doubles. Those will have 2 of the major contenders in both the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks. Salty in the outside post of 14, and then of course he has Summer Luck also on the outside, and we'll have Classic Empire in the Kentucky Derby. Let's focus on the Oaks first. And Salty, who had some experience here before she joined your barn, but has done absolutely nothing wrong since she got there, and now one of the top 3 choices. Your thoughts on her and her outside post position in gate 14?
I mean, she's done great. Like Dick's filly, she's only had a few starts. She did get to overcome a lot of obstacles in her last start. As I said to Norman when we drew 14, I said, well, if we got that in the Derby, we'd be happy. So we're going to take it. I don't think it's for us. Our filly doesn't have a lot of speed, so she's going to be able to drop over and save some ground. I think that post could have been a little harder on some of the other fillies. Not so much for us.
And your thoughts, again, as I mentioned, you've got the opportunities in both. If you look at the morning line odds for both the Derby and the Oaks, are you allowing yourself to think about things like that, or do you really take them one at a time?
I didn't think we were even talking about the Derby yet. We'll just concentrate on this one for right now.
All right, that works for me. And as we mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, saving the absolute best for last. We have Wayne Catalano down at the end, and he has a wonderful filly named Farrell, who is on a win streak, has run extremely well over this racetrack, and as much as Mark Cassie and his assistant and son Norman are a family affair, it's definitely a family operation with Farrell, as Farrell is ridden by his son-in-law Channing Hill. This horse has been on a roll, has wonderful speed, and comes into the Oaks on a high note. Wayne, your thoughts on your post position? I got a feeling you might like number 7, but I'll let you say if you like it right in the middle of the 14, and just your thoughts on how she's doing.
I do like 7. I was schooling, I put in the 7 every day, and so came out just like I was putting her in there. I like to know if I can get the 5-1, I can bet now. I like to get 5-1 now. But no, she's doing good. We're very happy with the post position and how she's doing everything. So, I mean, you can't get her coming better the race. And on these guys here, we got a little bit more experience. We run a bunch of times.
There you go. She just she never runs a bad one. She had one 4th place finish here in a good race last fall, but everything else, she's been right there and been in front all the way.
Well, she's proven she likes the racetrack. She's run over it a couple times. So if that means anything, we might have an advantage.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a couple of questions from the group here. Again, Richard Mandela, Mark Cassie, and Wayne Catalano. And we have a microphone here if you want to raise a hand and ask a question. We'd be happy to do so. If you don't, that's okay too. We have any more questions? Right here.
The top 3 by the odd, Mike's odds anyway, seem to have similar running styles. Any thoughts on how the pace might play with you or against you?
You talking to me?
I don't expect to be very close to the pace, so I'll leave it to these two.
My filly's young and just getting experience. She's naturally gifted with a lot of speed, so being in the 4, we'll let her come out of there, and if she's on the lead, that's fine, and if somebody else is crazy for it, we'll probably settle just off of it.
Well, I'm gonna go crazy for it, so take back. No, my filly can probably do whatever she wants. She proved that the last race. She laid off the speed. You know, she's got pretty good speed. She'll probably get to do whatever she wants. So we'll watch what Mr. Mandela does, and then we'll go from there. We'll let him break, and what them guys do, and we'll go from there. We'll see what happens.
All right, each of these gentlemen going for the first Kentucky Oaks win. Your thoughts on this race and its importance, and what it would mean to you if you could see your fillies get through. And Wayne, let's start with you and come back.
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
Oh, just again, all three of you are looking for your first win in the Kentucky Oaks. You've won some good races, had some big races here, but this is one of the bigger ones you're going to find beneath the Twin Spires. Just your thoughts on its importance for your filly and what
Well,
it means to
it's
her.
a great race. I mean, the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks are the great races. These are the kind of races that we go to work every day, 7 days a week, about 4:30 every morning. And you want to get to these kind of races. The rest of it's like, just going through the motions, waiting for these to come through the barn here. So we're always happy to be in these kind of races.
Mark, you were here a long time ago, early in your career, went to Canada, and now back here with this horse and other wonderful horses. Your thoughts on having been here, gone away, come back with an opportunity to win this race?
Well, I mean, I think normally when you have a good 2-year-old colt or 3-year-old colt, your first goal is the Kentucky Derby. I think when you have a 2-year-old filly, 3-year-old filly, normally your first goal is the Kentucky Oaks. So it may not be quite as important as the Derby, but it's pretty close.
And Richard, you've won so many great races from Breeders' Cups, some of the best horses in training throughout your career. You've been at the spotlight. Your thoughts? He's representing today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there's something to this hat. An old timer on the backside explained to me that the racing gods were approached by some of my colleagues. It's well documented the lack of success I've had here with the Derby and the Oaks, and they explained to me that some of my colleagues, I won't say their name, might have been Baffert or Lucas, got together and made a deal with the devil to keep me out of these things. I've had a little bit of luck at the Breeders' Cup, so I changed hats. I'm hoping they don't notice me.
In that light, what would a win in this race? And obviously, she's a wonderful filly. You've got great hopes for her, not only on Friday, but down the road. What would this race
Oh, it'd
mean
be
with
no
all the
big
great
deal
wins
for
you've
me.
had? Back to the great win.
I've told some of this story the other day when I was in the 6th grade. The only time I've ever set a goal, the teacher asked me to set a goal, and I said, well, I'm going to win the Derby by the time I'm 30. And I've more than lapped that, so we need to figure out a new way.
Any more questions?
Yes.
We got one back
Fred
here.
Calgill with WLKY TV in Louisville back here. Distance has always seemed to be a real major factor in this race for the fillies to get a 1 1/8 this early in their careers. Just some thoughts about the challenge of a 1 1/8. Miss Sky Warrior's won twice at the distance. The rest of the field, for the most part, has very little experience at that distance. How do you approach that for all three gentlemen as a trainer in terms of going into this and that being a factor? You change the way you do business in terms of your horses and all
He's
that.
on any one of them. I don't know. For me, nothing changes. I mean, I kind of feel we train them away, and either they can go 1 1/8 or they can't go 1 1/8. It's pretty much up to them. My thoughts are though, most of the time, if they can go 1 1/16, they can go 1 1/8. So not for us. I don't think there's a big change.
It's just a matter of time, whether it takes them 6 seconds or 8 seconds.
Wow, it's not really easy to do with the fillies going 1 1/8, but training horses, we train them as they go every day. You try to see how how they eat and how they train and how they do, with how much you train them and the distance of the race. Well, she's had a few under her belt now, so I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Any other questions? One more opportunity? If not, we want to thank all of the owners, trainers here for the draw this morning. We wish you the best of luck in the rest of this week and up to the 143rd Kentucky Oaks on Friday. We especially want to thank these gentlemen for taking the time, and they were not warned beforehand that we were going to bring them up here. Richard Mandela, Mark Cassie, and Wayne Catalano. Good luck to all three gentlemen. Good luck to everyone this week in the 143rd running of the Longines Kentucky Oaks.